Oh my God, Minnie, your cute little feet in the back. They're like this.
You got your boots on.
Yeah, but she's like pizza pieing it. Yeah. Yeah, see, she got them splayed.
Guys, we got a comment on Spotify.
Which means we got to listen on Spotify.
Yeah, everybody's like, you guys are on Spotify?
Yeah, exactly. No, we put everything up on Spotify because why not? And get like 5 listens a week. And this time I saw a little green dot next to the comments and I was like, what? Like,
is there an update?
I've never seen a dot in the comment section. I post polls every week there.
Oh.
One person answered a poll too.
Was it me?
No?
I know. I kind of assumed it was one of you assholes.
No, neither of us assholes.
It's some new asshole.
Yeah.
That's so great. I love a new asshole. It was just like, do you think that the producers know that Southern Charm was so horrible this season? And then it was like, answer 1 was like, yeah, they know. And 2 was, yeah, also they know, but they don't care because you watched it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who answered what. But anyhow, these are the polls I come up with because no one answers them. So I don't put a lot of thought into them. Once I start getting some more answerers, then, they'll get better.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, if anybody just like, you're on a drive, you got to commute, check us out on Spotify.
Yeah. By the way, if I were a betting man, I would be broke because I was betting that the Spotify was going to be where we really took off.
Me too.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
So
there are people podcasts I've been listening to for years, no idea what they look like. Like
Same.
Just don't. And honestly, I've been disappointed when I do find out what they look like. So I try not to look.
honestly, I'm really happy that it's YouTube that's taken off because if
yeah.
I'm putting mascara on, someone needs to see.
Absolutely.
I'm not putting mascara on for your ears.
Yeah. Foof, don't you dare. Courtney got me a plant and my cat is looking at it with, he almost, foof.
Knock that shit off.
I just want everyone to know I didn't even know I tapped him. It was literally like that.
No, that's how much he likes Courtney's plant, is that someone was going to come between him and the plant and he none too pleased.
Welcome to Showmance, the only show on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Yeah.
I'm Courtney.
What's happening over there?
These cats are going nuts. No, Minnie is just, what is she?
The couch?
No.
Oh, it's grass. Mike used to do a show called The Potter on Deck Show. It's still on the channel. Just scroll all the way down and you'll see some very interesting things like what kind of pirate would you be if you were to become a pirate? How many 11-year-olds could you fight off at one time?
Because adults should be fighting 11-year-olds.
Yes.
If they're attacking, I'm fighting.
Would you ever join a cult? Would you be a leader or a follower?
Yeah, if you don't know the answer to that question, tune in to the video.
Yeah, what are you doing during the apocalypse?
Yeah, you get a lot of good information. A lot of good info.
Anyhow, Summer House was really great. I felt like there was a lot of partying. I haven't seen them this drunk in a bit.
Same.
This many of them this drunk in a bit.
Wait, guys, the big news for the top of the show, they did not fix the door.
Yeah, not only did they not fix it, it seems to
It's
have
worse.
gotten worse. Yeah. I love when Kyle was like, is that new?
That was such a cheesy get locked out of the house thing.
I thought it was funny. And then,
It
of
was
course, the
funny.
pregnant lady has to come downstairs. And by the way, I, like most of America, am loving pregnant Lindsay. If that was drunk Lindsay, she would have been so pissed. That would have become a fight the next day.
Yeah.
Pregnant Lindsay just walks downstairs with her new great pregnant Lindsay laugh.
Yeah.
And she's just like, hey.
Dude, it is so funny, that laugh. I
love
we've
it.
never heard before, and that you brought it up on that.
When she's milking her milk.
Yeah. And there's something about that laugh. It is the most playful, like joyful thing I've ever heard Lindsay do in her whole life. And I'm into Lindsay now. So, I'm sure it'll change.
Oh, as soon as she pops that kid out,
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the other side of this. But
Yeah.
right now, I love pregnant Lindsay.
It was so funny when West goes, as soon as she pops that kid out, we're just going to have to tell Turner, back on the saddle, buddy.
Yeah, that was great.
West has been less obnoxious lately, and I'm not proud of that, but just feels like he has been a little.
He has been. He just also, I feel like, hasn't really been engaging.
Yeah.
Because instead of being an adult and apologizing, he's like slinking back into himself.
Yeah. And also Jesse's like hogging all the douchebaggery.
Correct.
It's a real star moment for Jesse.
I'm going to say something at the top of the pops, and it might not be the right time to say it. It might not be the right thing to say. But I'm gullible, America, okay? If you tell me that you're holding something in your hands that it isn't this thing, but you tell me it is this thing, I would just believe you because I believe what people tell me.
Yeah.
Last week, you had said, Paige is like timing all of this so well. She's getting Lindsay in her corner. She's kind of like planting the seeds for all of these things. I think everything you're saying makes perfect sense. I can't fight any of it. But because I just believe whatever they're showing us on the TV, I feel like the Paige stuff is also genuine, like that she's not planning it out. And the reason that she's in bed is not because she doesn't want to do the job. The reason she likes Lindsay is because Lindsay's actually just likable when she's pregnant. Like I was rethinking all of this as I was watching the show this week because she is not herself. Like, when you just like your best gal is down in the dumps and you look at them and it's like, they're laughing, they're having a glass of rosé with you, but they're not all there. They missed 5 jokes. Their outfit, it's good. It's not great. Yeah. Like they only want to be in bed. And Paige used to come to the parties. Like, yes, she's always liked to be in bed or sit or whatever.
Yeah.
But I really feel like whatever's going on in her life, the anxiety, the relationship, the tour, it has just taken it out of her and she's just not herself on like a molecular level.
Yeah.
Also, you could be totally right and I'm just the most gullible person in America.
No, it's just that. What?
I got a couple hot takes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna probably change the whole course of this conversation. So why don't you go ahead?
I just think that a lot of her anxiety. Wait, Minnie, definitely take a bath right there. I just think that a lot of her anxiety can also be spurring from or stemming from what she's laying out. And when I say that she's laying something out, I'm not saying that it's not real and that it's not true and that all of these things aren't happening. It's just that I acknowledge that to be in the position that she's in, she would have to, only an idiot would just freeball it. Like, you would have to think about how to roll something like this out. You would have to think about when I say oh, you got to cozy up to old Linz, you would know that Lindsay did just go through that. And that there are a lot of people that feel bad for Carl and that still call Lindsay a raging twat, even though we can all see that Carl is the problem. So it's not that I think that these things aren't happening. All I'm saying is that I do believe that she thought out how she was going to do this as anyone should. So it's not about fake. It's just about you gotta
her plan of action.
Yeah.
Okay, question though.
Because wouldn't you do that? You wouldn't just willy-nilly it and just start talking on camera exactly how you felt in the moment, especially if he did, we don't know what Craig knows.
Totally. That's all part of to me. However, I don't know if this is going to make sense. That's all part of the story. So even when she's just talking to Hannah, who's not on the show, it's do you even think I should bring this up on the show? It's she's just weighing her options.
Yeah.
But it's still all real life, right?
Yeah.
Because it is her life. I think I wonder then from kind of big picture, how you're talking about it, would I have even brought it up? Would I have just tried to suck it up and not say any of it and then just break up after the season and not have mentioned it to anyone? I don't know. It just begs the question, what would you do in that situation?
When she's having these conversations with Sierra and then they're in bed later and she's I'm freaking out. Craig's going to see this and think I'm such a bitch. And Sierra's he's going to hate me too. Whatever. I don't think that wasn't real, but it did spur me to wonder, what exactly has she said to Craig? I'm sure that they've had many conversations about we are not aligning and whatever, but to hear this might not be my person. If you're hearing that, I have to believe that she's already said something on that level to him, because if she hasn't, I would have real mixed bag feelings on that. Because if she was just that's all we want from our reality stars. All we would want is to know that first and find out later the boyfriend didn't know. But we all know Craig. We all feel some type of way about him, and he doesn't know us, probably doesn't want to. But like, obviously that's why this whole thing is such a big deal. I was listening to the Crappens guys earlier, and they were talking about like, we've never seen something like this on reality TV. Scandival was the closest thing to it, but not like, they weren't even in production anymore. They came back and we filmed them together or whatever. But like, to see these two shows going on, one after the other, and two completely different perspectives of the demise of a relationship. Like, I don't have we seen this anywhere before? Like, it's very interesting. And I know we're all over it. We want to move on with our lives, and like, it's painful and like all the things, but I hope that he is not finding this conversation out on air night.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The top of the episode, because it starts with her and Sienna just finishing that conversation at that party. And there's so much of her, she can't sleep. She's sleeping in the bedroom next to Imrul. She's saying, I'm going to take an Uber home by myself, which is a wild move, because that is hundreds and hundreds of dollars, specifically on a Sunday when you're in the thick of it with summer traffic. Yeah. Getting back to the city. She's just not herself this season at all. And whatever, we don't know the truth of what's going on. I can only read into what I'm being shown right now. And my heart just broke for her, because she just seems so sad. And just like she said it, she's like, I have everything I wished for, and I've never been more anxious and kind of overcome with crappy emotions in my life. And now Mike's going to blow it all up.
No, I have one more thing to say about that. It is so interesting being like a millennial Gen X cusper, because like, I want you, of course, like, I want everyone to like take care of their mental health and like get what they need. But like, I also like have this Gen X like kick reflex to be like, okay, lady, like, let me show you. Like, don't threaten the universe. It can get a lot worse for you.
By the way, if this makes it in or not, I have no idea, but I thought it was pretty, not funny, but funny in the context of what we're saying. So I listened to this great podcast where it's basically like a therapist that talks to random people all over the world. You have no idea who they are. They're anonymous. And it's incredible to listen to this. It's called Where Should We Begin, if anyone cares. And there was a couple that was on this week, and the guy who is clearly a Gen X, or the husband in the relationship, is like, the therapist was like, so tell me what happens. Like, do you reach out to hug someone or to hold your wife's hand? And he's like, no, I don't need to touch anyone. I don't need anyone. Yeah. I don't need affection. I don't need you to say anything. I just get up, I go to work, I do what I'm supposed to do. Life kicks me in the nuts and I figure it out, and I fix the sink. Yeah. And I'm like maybe we could soften that up a little bit.
That's what is just so weird about being this like 1980s kid. Totally. Of just like, you don't need it, but it's nice to have it.
Where's the best place to live? There's Gen X, there's the millennial. It's probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Wait, what about the rest of the generations?
No, we're the only ones that matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's my millennial side kicking in. My elder millennial.
I'm full millennial, so.
Yeah.
I think I got one hot take and one just like
lukewarm take.
No, it's not a hot take. It's just I'm kind of over. This was the first episode that made me be like, all right, I'm over it, dude. You guys broke up. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. You don't know why you're anxious? Like, you got everything you want. Yeah, because you're about to do a 62 city tour. Because you got everything that you wanted. That's why you're anxious, because you got to go perform now. Like, I want to play in the World Series. You get nervous when you get to play for the World Series or a championship, or you step on the first tee for a major. Congratulations, Rory. You get nervous when you get to go do the things that you have dreamt of doing. I moved to LA to write movies and sell TV shows. When I sold my first TV show, I was nervous. Now you got to go do it, buddy. Like, that's why you're nervous. That's why you're anxious. It's not a big secret. Like, I'm going Gen X. I'm like, what are you crying about? Like, I get it. I'm not like saying don't feel bad. I understand those feelings, feel them. And then, like you said, like, get to work. You have a job to do. Go do it. But don't sit here and cry about, I don't know why I'm so anxious. What?
I know. And
that's so stupid. And I also think the Cragen thing was just that. Like, everything was great until you got this tour. Craig thought ABBA was going to happen. And just like a dude going on tour in a band or what, like, I don't know a lot of ladies who aren't going to be like, oh, this dude's going to be banging chicks all 7 ways to Sunday. Paige is kind of a dude. So Craig is kind of a chick. Like Craig's the one that's like, oh, dude, she's in the but what if I lose? She's gonna be on. Oh, I gotta show her the empathy. I'm gonna freaking. And now she's taking that as like, you don't support me. No, he just doesn't know how to support you. He's just worried he's gonna lose you. That's what was happening. But like, cool, you took it that way. You don't want him. Like that's all. That's all that's happening. So like, for months we've been going on. Tim, is Tim the guy on Instagram? Tim, I apologize. You're right. We need to stop talking about this shit. They have snowballed us for months, and the only thing that happened was Paige got a chance to play in the World Series. Craig got jealous and envious about it, or not even just like shitty about it. It wasn't like, oh my God, babe, let's go hit balls. Let's do it. You're going to win. Let's go. He was like, oh, but what if you go? So you have to be, there's 4 away games? I don't understand. Like that. What do I do during the, and she was like, what do? You come. I'm in the World Series, motherfucker. So now I'm like, cool. I'm done. See you guys later. I don't care anymore. Paige, shut up. Craig, shut the up.
I keep wondering, like, I need to know exactly what he said that was unsupportive, because if after 3 years he just did, all he did was say some things like, but when am I going to see you? But like, when are you not going to work so much? Like,
I think it was.
I don't know. I've been through some shit lately. People are dying out there. Okay, like there is like worse things than having like a boyfriend who's not like the most perfect cheerleader at all times. Like there just is like that's why I always err on that, like something else was going on. She just wasn't feeling him anymore. And I would like to stop talking about like this support system, because like unless he was literally like one of those guys that's like, oh, the second you get on stage, they're all gonna see like that you don't even know what you're doing out there. Like unless he was saying shit like that to that level, because that is the kind of like, that is not just unsupported. That's like almost
that's like a mental warfare.
Yeah, that's mental warfare.
I don't think
but if it was
Craig
just like,
which I don't think he
how
did,
many? Oh my God! So like, God, 8 weeks. So, because I can't do that. Like, if it's just like handful of those, like, I'm sorry, but like, you just didn't like him anymore, because like, there's worse things than having your boyfriend really want to see you every other weekend.
I disagree with that. Like, I totally disagree with that.
What?
Like, if I'm about to fulfill the thing that I've been wanting to do, and you're not 100% in, then that is I'm going to have a real problem with that.
Okay, but like, what is 100% in?
Well,
like, I'm in on everything that you're doing. Clearly,
like, it's not asking, when do I get to see you, and what about me? And I want to make sure that I'm still a priority and that I'm taken care of. It's definitely not that. It's definitely not that.
I will
Craig realized he was losing his trad wife that he never had in the first place, and said some shit about it. And she was like, wait, what? I thought we were ballers. I thought we were doing this. And he's like, no, I'm a little bitch. And she got sick of it.
I'm just going to say this. From someone who did date someone who did actually go to the World Series, when that started to happen, I was like, whatever you need, I got you. Like, I'm a nurturer anyway, but it's just like, meal prepping, and this was before like everyone is living the way they're living now, and so it's like meal prepping everything. I'll be there for every single thing I can. I took every single thing off of this person's plate that I could. I showed up in every single way that I could. There is a way to support your partner when they are going through these monumental dream. I'm going to the Olympics. I just sold a script and I can't wait to go watch them shoot. I got my dream job, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
So there is definitively like the supportive route that one can take. Let's just I think we could all agree that he didn't take the most supportive route, because she keeps saying it over and over again.
Yeah.
It also could be, and this is super boring to say, but like it also just could be a difference in like love languages, where maybe his love language is, but what do you mean? I bought you all this stuff for your tour. And she's like, I don't need more stuff. I need you to come and want to visit me on tour.
Are we going to sit here and not like look back at Craig and be like, oh, I totally know why. Like, I don't think it's a love language issue. I don't think Craig bought little snacks and little to take on tour. I think Craig was like genuinely trying to figure out, what about me? What about me when you're on tour? What?
Well, that's kind of crappy, though.
Yeah, I just don't.
Exactly.
Like,
Which is why Paige was like, bro, peace out. Like instant. That's instant. It's probably not even instant. The first time you're like, all right, I'm going to let that one slide. The second time you're going to go to Sierra and be like, I don't know what's going on. Or Sierra, Hannah. The third time, it's a problem. That we have an official code red problem. And if you don't bring it up, there's a fourth and fifth, and now you're out. And by the time you do bring it up, you've been out for a month and a half already. That's all that happened. So like the thing that I'm frustrated about now is and I get it, with a different show, but we watched an entire season of Southern Charm and 2 reunions, and all to find out nothing happened. So
but
now
something happened.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
I know
it's
what
just
Nettie or Joanne Greco's going to say.
Yeah,
someone maybe met someone.
Yeah, maybe. But like again, there's no proof of cheating. Like maybe she cheated. Cool.
No.
That sucks if she did. But like,
it's not about
I
cheating.
think it makes way more sense that she got a shot at her dream, and her partner was wondering, "What about me?" during this time. That's it. It's plain and simple.
By the way, I think everything you're saying sounds pretty accurate. And as you keep painting the picture, it sounds like this is what happened. And if that is the case, it supports everything else she said when she's like, why can't you just say, like, I'm so busy? I feel like you keep trying to minimize what I'm doing. And all of that feels unsupportive. Like that dinner that they had at the Australian restaurant.
Right.
She's like, he just wouldn't say on camera, you're busier than me right now. And for her to say, like, I make more money than you, so to leave the place that I make that money doesn't make sense. So if we're going with Mike's theory, I'm not saying that it's correct, even though it feels really correct. Everything she said lines up with what you're saying.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
to me
I think
means,
we just probably feel different about what the consequence should be for that. Like I probably I'm just more like I've
what
always said,
consequence?
like that she just breaks up with him. I have always said, like, Paige, just don't listen to him. He's Craig. He's chatty. He's always gonna like, and you just go, okay.
Sure.
You don't have to do any of that, like, because I'm older and because I know important things. People that really love you and would die for you,
Right.
like they're not a dime a dozen. So all I'm saying is that I think that it's just an older you know,
You live and you learn.
like it's just a life phase person. I'm in a different life phase than her, so that just wouldn't bug me as much. I wouldn't drop someone because of that.
now.
That's what I've said a million times, that this is all about me being older and being like, that's not so easy to find. Like we've had that whole discussion about just like, it is not, you can't rely that you'll find that tomorrow. There was a whole show about dating in the city of New York that was years and years of women never being able to, like, it just is. It's not, I'm not saying to dumb it down and take less. I'm not at all saying that. I'm saying that as an older person, I can tell someone like, go reach for the stars, go for the gold. Don't be shocked if like
you
it's
have
not.
always said that. You've always said like it wouldn't be settling. It's just really realizing that like nobody's perfect and this is just my wisdom telling you
going
who's
through
older.
shit and realizing what like how brilliant it is to have someone that is that obsessed with you. You know.
Yes, but I think what Mike's saying,
Unless you're having a glow up, unless like he's obsessed with you when you're on the same level show as him. Oh, you got a podcast? Yes, so do me and my friend. We have a podcast too. You got what?
Yeah.
You got a $13 million 62 city thing, and I'm trying to buy my buddy out of a show because no one will promote it. So we got to fake argue on our TV show to even get anything for our 2-3 like we probably get more views on YouTube. Thank you everybody than those idiots.
I doubt that.
I doubt it too. But my point is like he's perfect until he's totally not, right? Like maybe he's like all the things when you're talking about like, when you get older, you realize nothing's perfect. So you're going to take, if there's more bad than good or more good than bad, then that's a win. There was a lot more good than bad, but the bad with Craig was like, you're an alcoholic, you get out of control. Cool. You fix that. you're kind of childish, you're immature. You talk about this, but it's not, you got a license. You just get your face, like you're a model is what you, right? You lie a lot. Your friends have a problem with you like these are the bad. The good is you're obsessed with me. You take care of me. You love me. You're
That's
fucking
right.
ride or die. There's already good. So she's already not on the fence, right? Because they were together. But now this huge thing comes in. That's not a take the good with the bad. It's a massive thing. You don't support me.
It was a make or break moment.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker.
All of that, it can be true. I am only stating how I would deal with it much differently being 100 years old.
Sure. But
so
fine.
at 30, and what did I say? You can't tell 30-year-olds anything, and you shouldn't. Like they got to do what they got to do. I support everything they're doing. I don't think that they were made for each other, but I think that like everything I'm saying, I think I'm kind of like probably just it's lost on this because it's not
lost. I think the thing that I got to this episode was, oh man, bamboozled again. And now here we are going back and forth about this bamboozlement. But like, no, fuck off. You guys had a relationship and something happened and you broke up. That's normal. Happens all the time. Yeah. And we're all like, oh my God, I need to know what happened. Did he cheat?
Well,
did she cheat? Was he texting girls? Oh God.
No. I'm curious if what I'm thinking now, because I think I'm kind of in between the two of you guys, which I normally find myself there, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Where I totally understand what you're saying, where it's like, no, with hopefully.
I mean, we're not even talking about the same thing. She's talking about a planned.
Again, per usual. Like that.
Well, yeah, that's
Welcome
true.
to Showmance, everyone.
But my point is that I think the way Mike is depicting this, which I'm kind of feeling what he's saying, is that I look at all relationships as a pie chart, and there's always going to be a shit slice. Like, oh, this person's a slopopotamus, or they're always late, or what, and I'm not, and that annoys me, or whatever it is. You're never going to have a perfect pie.
Yeah.
But when the slice that's the shit piece becomes the majority piece, and the good piece is the 20%, and the shit piece is the 80%. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
And I think that all of these things started to stack, and it didn't make it where she could see the forest for the trees anymore, where she could say, no, but like he does have all these good qualities. It's like, they're not good qualities. He's pressuring me into doing this stuff that I don't want to do. He said he was going to move to New York, and now he's not going to. He's not being supportive. My career is the linchpin of my entire life. Everything revolves around this because that's who I am. And if you can't get behind that, then that would be as big of a thing as me telling Craig, I don't want to have kids. So I feel like that piece of the pie, that was the good piece, just got way too small for her to even think, is there anything here to salvage?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there might be something there.
Are you ready for my hot take?
Oh, yeah.
We can move on from Craig and Paige forever.
Yeah,
You're welcome, Tim.
I have more analysis about who Paige is as a person.
Point. So you've mentioned, but we kind of went on the train ride for a minute. We thought Carl was gay, right? You think Carl's gay. There's a lot of people on the internet that maybe think Carl likes dudes. We took that ride on whatever. It occurred to me that like, man, when that happens, it's usually, oh, that guy's gay. That guy's gay. It's rarely that girl's gay. Is Sierra gay? Yeah.
That was a hard left or right.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I think the
She
car
has
just went
all
off the
the
rails.
same shitty relationships that Carl does, right? She is obsessed with Paige. She literally joking. Okay, fine. Paige is like, I wish I could just change my name. She's like, I can arrange that for both of us. Why for both of us? Why throw that in there?
Sierra's not having a great summer either. That's why she said it.
What's her summer? But why is she having a bad summer?
She
Doesn't have a boyfriend to fucking torture and like have a storyline with?
Or be in love with and laugh with and have fun with, like she did with Austin during the Winter House.
You poor baby. You sit with your girlfriend that you dream about at a pool in the Hamptons
not
all
a
year.
cusper. This is a straight Xer.
Xer, yeah. The reason I think that of Carl is for all of the, and we don't have to beat a dead horse because I could be totally wrong. And also, I don't think there's anything wrong with being any sexual orientation. I don't
Nobody's
care.
saying it's
I will,
wrong. We're
hold on
just
one
having a
second. Hold on, because
conversation.
I want to be clear about the fact that I'm not trying to beat some dead horse and ruin some guy's life, even though I know he's not watching this, by spreading some falsehood. I'm just saying he has said the best oral sex he's ever received is from a man. He has been very different in his personality in the last few years since he's been sober. He's been battling things. He's been talking differently. All of this. And I know a lot of sober people. And I get that when you become sober, it affects you differently. I'm just saying all of these little breadcrumbs lead me to believe that maybe Carl is sexually curious with people that are other than women. Sierra has never said like, hey, I hooked up with some girl last night and it was really good.
She never says anything though. Like Sarah would never tell you something that personal. She doesn't say anything personal except, don't
She
be
hasn't
mean
hooked
to
up with
me.
anyone.
Okay, this is so far off the radar for me. I need to know like what other
Just
specifics
that conversation
that are
and
leading
like
you
the
here.
the advice that she gives Paige, and like it popped into my head, and then I was like, that's weird. Why did that pop into my head? And then it came again, and I was like, interesting. Like I was starting to see similarities between her and Carl, and then I was like, well, shit. Everyone says this shit about Carl. There's kind of the same things going on. So it's not so much me saying, oh, I think Sierra's gay. It's
But that's what
me
you did say.
saying,
Yeah,
what?
That's what
that
you did
that
say.
seemed like what you said.
No, it is. I said is.
Oh, you think she is gay?
No, Jesus Christ. This is not me saying that she's gay. This is me saying we do this with Carl and other people, and I saw the same kind of things happening with her. Why doesn't anyone ever be like, oh, why doesn't that happen more with women?
It does on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think
There's
Kyle
one,
is
okay. There's
gay.
one though. Okay, so there's one.
I think Erica Jane is very fluid in her sexuality. Candy Burris has said she's fluid in her sexuality and has hooked up with women. She's hooked up with Portia. Portia's talked about it.
I don't think, yeah.
I
But
just
you're
don't-
talking about people who are open about their sexuality. I'm talking about people who are not, who proclaim to be straight. And this is not even a thing. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
No,
this is not, I don't think the point I'm trying to make is coming across. So whatever. Sierra's not gay.
No, I
Listen.
think
It
what he's
just,
saying is that we sometimes will say, hey, I think maybe this guy could be gay, but we never say that with women.
No, we say, hey, this guy does X, Y, Z and ABC. I wonder if he's gay because of that. I saw her doing all the same things, but no one's ever been like, oh, is she? I wonder if she's into chicks and not like, is that?
Yeah, because my
That's
gaydar
all.
just hasn't gone off with her.
yeah.
But even
With-
gaydar, like gaydar is a dude thing. Like there's not.
No, it's not.
You could be a woman and
Okay,
be.
I'm not saying it couldn't be. I'm just saying that it's like gaydar is not a typical thing for chicks. Like that's a dude thing, right? When you're like, if a dude is gay, you guys think gaydar is equal
everyone.
50-50,
Yeah.
but used 50-50?
I've never delegated it
I've
to
never delineated
like
it between
never
men and
even
women.
thought about
Right.
it being a masculine or a feminine thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Sierra. We have witnessed her just crushed over dudes, like to a point that is like, I understand, like when we witness Carl being crushed, it's almost like his spirit is crushed. It's
Yeah.
like one more thing didn't work out with the breakdown of him and Lindsay. It was like, that was my best friend for however long. She supported me. I have all these problems. She was like the backbone. She like told me to grab my balls every day. And like, you know, I flicked him, but like, you know, like it probably got the closest he ever got to like taking control of his life kind of seemed to be when he was with her. So, when I see Sierra going through like the West thing or the Austin thing, I see a girl that is devastated over a boy that like she really liked and thought liked her back as much as she liked him and then like didn't. So, and I also think that like Paige is like, she's at the top of her game.
Yeah.
Like when Scandival happened, everybody knew who Tom Sandoval was. Like you could have somebody in Sweden, you could have someone in Japan. Like they all know Scandival. Like
Sandoval.
yeah. John Hamm's talking about it on New Year's at the drop with Anderson Cooper. Like they are a household name now. I think that Sierra might also like, I don't know. I think she's glomming on a little harder to Paige than she has in the past. And it could just be for a variety of reasons. That's more of like, my friend is like getting bigger and bigger. I feel her slipping away. She was in Us Weekly today saying that she's contemplating leaving the show because like she thinks she might have grown out of it. I think that could be what you're sensing from Sierra going, with how she's reacting to Paige and treating Paige. I don't feel any sex vibes there, but you do.
I don't know if it's not about a sex vibe. Let's keep going though, because I got more about these two knuckleheads. I mean, it's not a sex vibe. It's not even a vibe. It was less about her being into girls and more about why we see these things about dudes way more often than we do about women.
That's what I said. And you said no. I said, we question it with guys, but we don't with girls. Roll the tape, man.
Yeah,
but then you went and list off 47 housewives that are, you think this person's gay,
we
you
never
think this
talk about it
person's
with
gay.
women. And I was like, yes, we do. Kyle has never said she's a lesbian, but I think Kyle is gay.
What?
Everyone on the show talks about Kyle being...
Yeah, okay.
Kyle's a famous.
Curious. I'm just saying, I did say that for the record, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think maybe you misheard her because she literally said exactly those words, and it was.
Then what are we talking about?
that.
I don't know, because I said
that
it.
was my whole point, and okay.
I think that this is what is kind of funny is that it could be that both Craig and Sierra are feeling the same way about Paige's come up, but they're dealing with it in 180-degree different ways, whereas Sierra's just being there for her more than ever, and Craig's not. So maybe it's even highlighting his shortcomings on that, because I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Like, we're just we're not talking about the thing that I brought up, which is fine.
Okay. After the Sierra Paige of it all of those conversations, I feel like the next thing we really get into is Lexi and Jesse having that stupid conversation behind the car when they got home. I don't care. I don't care about these two. I don't care about their relationship. It all seems like, when a little kid is telling you, like, I have a nephew who's a tween, and you know how he's like, oh, I have this girlfriend and we're going steady and I'm just like, okay, talk to me. Like, and of course I care. I love him. I want him to be happy, but like, I know he's not telling me something. This sounds terrible because of course I take him seriously and his emotions are real, whether he's 13 or 33, but it just sounds like, no, totally. I know you love her so much and you guys are going to go to the same college and then you're going to live in this development next to your mom and dad after you graduate. Like, I make him feel that I'm feeling it, but inside I'm like, you're not going to be dating in the next 3 weeks like this. And that's how I feel with Jesse and
Gianni,
Lexi.
I believe every word.
Oh, gee, man. So does Aunt Cork.
Yeah,
but do you know but do you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how I feel about Lexi and Jesse. It's like, this isn't going anywhere. So I don't care that all of a sudden Jesse feels like his bad behavior. Now we're even because she was propping up a drunk West and see, you're flirting too. And now we can all just flirt. It's like, that's not what happened. And you're just using this as an excuse so you could be off the hook for your shitty behavior when it airs. By the way, it doesn't even matter because you're not even going to be together when this airs. That's why I don't care. Just like Gianni is not going to live with his girlfriend, Sarah, next to my sister and brother-in-law in the same development in 20 years. Okay? I said it. I own it.
The funniest part about, or not the funniest, just the most like, oh my God, Jesse, I swear to Christ, I will, if I could come through this lens right now and punch you in the throat, I would do it. And I would also probably do it twice because I've never punched anyone before. So I'd like to have a practice hit because it'd probably be like embarrassing. My first throw would be funny. Like I'd probably miss like when I'm golfing.
Oh, so we believe in and practice nonviolence here.
Not true.
Yeah, no.
I see where Foof gets it from.
The conversation that we overheard behind the Uber was not supposed to be captured. That he did not. I mean, we could barely hear them. They had to transcribe it. Like you could hear them just enough. Like they've clearly got some little things out there, but like I don't think Jesse had any idea. I think that he thought that was going to be, because I think that Jesse I think he does like her. I think he didn't like seeing her with West. I think he did. Like, I think those emotions that he was having were childish and baby, but real. Like, I think they were like drunken, whatever. But he didn't know that that was being recorded. What he said in the bedroom was front and center, articulated and to the camera in a way that like, and that's when he goes, no, I just meant that like I saw you flourishing. Like it was night and day different from what he had said outside.
It's just
it's just like, I'm so glad that they caught that outside. Like even, we cannot care, we can think it doesn't matter and whatever, but like, and I also think he's trying to gaslight her into believing that the playing field is leveled now.
Totally.
He basically comes out and tells us that in his confession that like, oh, like, no, this was, even though even it was a little bit much for even me, but I was excited because it meant that like I could get away with what I'd already done.
Now
and
we could all
just
flirt,
like, we could all
who
do whatever we
cares?
want. And when he says, but Lexi doesn't see it the same way, which is kind of funny because that's what I thought when she was accusing me. She's holding up your weird faced drunk friend with the dumb mustache. You're equivocating that with getting your toe sucked and stating that you're hard in bed with two naked girls with Emerald. Like
with the, what does he call him?
What?
The Bang King,
the orgy beast.
The orgy beast?
Yeah.
Like, you guys are all out in public. She's sitting next to a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
What do you think she's going to do? She's going to start going down on him? This is insane. What say you, Mike? You have feelings about this.
I think the conversation behind the car was ridiculous. It was 2 or 3 different conversations. It was one that was like, wait, what are they talking about? And then 2 where it was a little bit of him being like, no, I'm just like, it's cool. Like, it's fine. And then him leaving, being like, that's why I love you, giggle, giggle. And so like that, I had to watch it like 4 times. It made no sense at all. And then upstairs made a little bit more sense. And then in the after show, all he said was something along the lines of like, no, that whole scene was taken out of context. And that's all he said. So like, maybe Jesse's new enough to not speak to the edit.
Oh shit, I didn't watch the after show.
Wait, I'm not getting after shows. I was going to ask you for the last 2 weeks. I haven't gotten an after show on the app.
Maybe they're only sending them to me.
Didn't you think that the conversation, like the stuff that you heard before, like behind the Uber, wasn't it night and day different from what you heard in the bedroom?
But that time, it's like not necessarily, because what happened behind the car was 3 different conversations. So yes, but also no. And then add in the after show where he's like kind of giggling, like that was all taken out of, because the producer asked him something. I think what Jesse was trying to say, and I only think this because of where those 2 fuckers ended up the next morning. Lexi's playing a little fucking game, like, you want to get your fucking toe sucked? Cool. I'm going to go dance with your best friend. And then tomorrow morning, after you cry about it all night, I'm going to go lay on the couch with him and put our heads on the same little pelly and talk about how we need electrolytes and
okay.
And they were there for hours, seemingly. Paige was there, chit chat, like, fuck off, Lexi, fuck off. Like, cool, like, but fuck off. Putting all those things together made me think that what Jesse was saying was like, listen, it's all cool, but you rubbing up and getting massaged and like holding up my drunk best friend. He seemed to walk through the house totally fine. No one was holding him up, but nobody was holding him up. He wasn't stoned. Like,
he was trying
that
to
was
barrel through
hours
the door.
later. That was 4 hours later. What was there? Him and Kyle just sipping waters until they were sober enough to go home. Like, I think that whatever they were doing was enough for Jesse to be like, yo, totally fine, but just so you know, that's how I want us all to be. I'm not going to fuck anybody. I hope you're not going to fuck, but like, it was nice to see that. And she was like, I was holding your drunk best friend up. You got your toe sucked. So like, yeah, maybe like, and I think there's a little truth to Jesse being like, ooh, I might be able to use this.
Yeah.
I also think there's a lot more truth to Jesse being like, all right, cool. That's fine, but don't cry to me.
Argentina.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because we
that
kind
is
of
the
are
point-
on even playing field. In the after show, the producer asked something about it. Well, how do you feel? And he was like, yeah, that's not how that went down. Or it was something along the lines where he was like, that's not what happened. Like, it was out of context.
If that's the point he was trying to make, he did a real piss poor job of articulating it, A of all. B of all, if you're playing games this early on like that, get out.
Yeah.
See,
But listen, like you just said,
they shouldn't be together.
when she walked in the door and Jesse was like, "Who's your name?" You knew that was going to be a.
Yeah.
We talked about it. There's going to be a 3-4 week fling, and they're going to be done. Like, no, this is like everybody saw this coming.
Here's the only problem with this is why I was saying like it's Jesse-itis, because maybe he's explaining it one way in the after show, saying one thing in his confessional, saying another thing to Lexi. And it's just, yes, we can patchwork all of these 3 explanations from you together and see exactly what you're saying and what your point is. Just be clear about who you are and what you want, because it's just annoying. Sorry. It's just annoying at this point. And for him to then be in bed with her, he clearly said, I love you. This is not the first time he said, I love you. Obviously, he's hammered when he does it. Doesn't matter. He still said it. And then she didn't answer him. And he's like, don't you love me? And she's like, yes, so much. But she didn't say, I love you back. So he's muddling this up regardless, because even if he wanted to say like, right, and you were flirting too, and I'm okay with that, and we can all be big flirts, you still have strong feelings for her, and you're still also trying to play the field.
Yeah.
So just don't be in a relationship until you're clear with who you are and what you want, Jesse, because none of these explanations fully add up to you being a good boyfriend, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Mike, you're right. He's having 3 different conversations.
I listened to that outside the Uber thing, and like, sure, anything can be taken out of context in these shows. Like, we see it all the time. There's something else I saw when they get into the argument, not the argument, but when he snaps at Sierra for being too handsy with him at the
Hope Lodge
thing. Yeah. Like the camera angles look like Lexi standing right there with Lindsay and what's her name? Gabby and even the shot of her is like looking at him, listening to him say, I'm the one that got yelled at. But then like, that wasn't her hand. That's like in like it, they really try to match. So what I'm saying is that I can definitely, obviously, I think that things are taken out of context all the time. Things are pasted together to make look a certain way. It's just the things that he was saying was like, that was a lot. That was intense. What you did was way more intense than what I did. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you know how I am. And she's like, and you know how I am. And he's like, and then as soon as they kind of walk around the car, that's when he's like, yeah, but it's so, no, I'm so happy that like, it's like, it was just so, to me, it just looked very apparent that he thought he was speaking just to her in a quiet way. And then when he comes around the car, that's when the conversation changes. And then once he gets up in the room, that's when the conversation completely changes. And it just seems to me like he is trying to tell us all, like, I'm the cool guy that's like relaxed and everyone's having a great time. But to her, he is saying like, that was crazy what you did. Like, you could be onto something about her. If you yelled at me all night or like told me like something really bothered you about me and like one of your friends like hanging out too much the night before, the last thing I'm going to do is lay on the couch
and share a pillow with
and
them.
share
I had
a
clocked
pillow
that.
with them. Yeah, like I didn't even put the 2 together that like that's the next morning after that big long conversation, and like I just kind of forgot about the conversation because like it was just the gaslighting was so jaw-dropping, like and abysmal to me that like I was just so hook, line, and sinker on him.
Throw something out there that may or may not have happened. The only world in which I could see me then the next morning, like sharing a pillow with West, is if I had said to Jesse, and I think West is cute. I'm not saying that this is what I feel about him, but if I had said to Jesse, West makes me physically ill. Like, yes, he's funny. He's got a good personality. I think he is as attractive as a pile of vomit. Like, he grosses me out. I'm not attracted to pick out whatever features. Like, if she has been that explicit saying that to him, that's the only way it wouldn't matter.
It would still matter. It would still, you cannot have that argument and the next morning, no matter what anybody says, go lay down on the couch with that person that you were arguing about, period. And if you did and you spent the whole night telling me, oh, he's so ugly, I would never, and I came downstairs and you were on the couch with Ugly Muffin, I would think you're a liar. It would,
She could easily be thinking, if you want to be all touchy-feely with Sierra, isn't that your best friend? And isn't...
Dude, and this is my next
You've always
thing.
said that what she presents is
and
not
here's
what
my next
she
thing,
is.
This is these people's job now. And it's what we talked a little bit about before. You dream to do something because you love a thing, right? If you're lucky, you get to go do that thing for work. But then you have to learn that thing. And then that thing becomes like watching movies fucking sucks now because you learned how to write a movie and you know what's going to happen. You know when it's going to happen. You know what page. Right, sure. But like these people have jobs now. These are their jobs. And it's been on long enough. People get it. The producers probably saw what happened on Southern Charm and they were like, oh shit, we better step up our game. So like they're working. That's what I'm also seeing now is like, anytime I get frustrated and I'm like, oh, this, you guys, this is bullshit. And I have another note of it where Imrul does the same thing that I'm doing now, is just clock in bullshit. Then like 30 seconds later, I'm like, well, this is their jobs. They're just working. And then it takes me out of the whole.
Can we get into Imrul? Because I'm
yeah.
Literally or figuratively?
Not with your dick would I get into Imrul.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
why you guys hate on him so much.
No,
My prediction is about to come true any minute.
Like, it's so weird the ride that I'm on with him. Please proceed.
I'm just annoyed with him. You haven't gotten to know anyone in the house. You keep bringing people home. I feel like every time I've watched any of these shows, all of the people on there have used that I'm covering the bedroom camera move very sparingly. He comes in and they do it because I think the producers, it's frowned upon. I don't think it's allowed. I don't think they like when you do that. He does it every weekend with both middle fingers up, does not care. And then he's telling the people that he's with, yeah, be loud, make the noises. It's like, you're not in your own house. You live there with other people. That is the fastest way for me to go from 0 to 60 because I take my sleep so seriously. And if I'm trying to get a good night's sleep and you are pounding someone in the next bedroom for the 8th weekend in a row and you're not trying, you can have sex and not be on a bullhorn about it. You don't have to say, yeah, make all the noise you want and be banging the headboards. There's a lot of different ways you can be intimate with someone and not make that much noise. I think it's wildly inconsiderate. I think we know, you say like, I get it. I want it to be a part of my story, but it's not my whole story. It's all I know about you, Imrul. Like because you were undocumented, now you have to bang everything till your dick falls off. Like, and by the way, whatever the term is, I'm sex positive. We didn't need this term, America. Okay, just I like sex. That's all you need to know. I get it. I like it too. But I just think in this,
you just don't like it when other people are doing it at
No.
a summer house.
Pull
that
the
you
headboard
paid
out, my
for?
dude.
I think
Like,
it's
pull
What
the
are we
headboard
talking
out.
about
I
right
think it's
here?
so
There's this
rude.
one weekend that has been too loud. No one's heard anything
No,
all
I've
these
had my-
other weekends.
Yeah, I have
Paige
my
never
thoughts on
went
that.
in and was like, hey, excuse me, Imrul, I'm
Yeah.
having anxiety over a tour and my boyfriend. Is this guy a fucking mind reader? No, Paige, get the fuck up and say something about it. And don't do this bullshit like you did. I told him. You didn't fucking say shit. Neither of you said shit. So fuck off.
Well, Sierra did.
She
Sarah
didn't.
absolutely did.
Okay, she mentioned it, but then she goes upstairs and is like, oh, I railed into him. The fuck you did. You brought it up and then you walked away with your hanging
I know
out.
that was like the
And
morality
said,
police.
nobody's
with,
mad
deep
at you.
Honestly, if
boobs.
my bosoms looked that beautiful hanging
know,
out of a
but-
tank
but
top, I would go
maybe-
to church that way.
But maybe when you're having the morality
Yeah.
police come out, maybe put them away for the 2 minutes that you're going to lay into this dude
don't
about
think-
it.
That you're
It's
not
about-
laying into him at all. And then when you don't lay into him, and then you're only doing this because of your buddy, not she didn't have a problem with it. Her friend did. Her wannabe future wife.
This could feed into your.
Exactly. She's defending her lady. And then you leave and say no one's mad at you. Well, one person is really, really, really f***ing mad at Imrul. She's brown-haired Italian upstairs in bed right now. And she's not going to say shit. She didn't say shit in the kitchen. You need a STD. That was a joke. Well, how many is it this summer? Also a fucking Paige joke.
can I just
so you didn't lay into him. Your girlfriend didn't lay into him. And then you guys go upstairs and kibitz about how badass chicks you are and how you laid into him. You could see it in his face. And then the dudes, well, maybe a
away game.
Away game would be. Imrul's just sitting there being like, okay, the cameras. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, let's we'll keep going. I didn't see the call sheet this morning, but is this what we're doing? Like, you can see him looking at every one of those fuckers except Kyle, who's like, I'm not playing this game. I brought this dude here for this exact thing. Like, what are you guys talking about? We're
Amanda
at a
brought
summer house,
the
dude.
two little ladies,
The
and Kyle
fuck?
brought the dude.
You can't
and
bang
so that
chicks
they
at
could-
a summer house.
'cause they
That's
got a
what you're
business to
supposed to
save.
do.
Yeah,
They were
exactly.
all just out till 3 a.m. That's what you do.
Yeah.
I don't care how old you are.
No, I think it is.
He did exactly what they're supposed to do. You know who's not supposed to be at a summer house? The fucking pregnant lady
Fine.
and the anxiety-ridden
That's where I'm at
chick
with this,
who's about to go live her dreams in the World Series. Stay the home and do some prep, or don't. Like, I don't care. I'm not gonna tell you to do your job, but don't fucking cry about it. If you're so stressed out because of your job, then stay home and focus on your job. Don't come to a party house. It's a fucking party house. You're supposed to get wasted, and
Okay, I would like to
none
say
of you are doing that.
I would like to say a few things. One, you can still get an STD with a condom, just in case anyone
It just is like,
anyone is listening
Right.
that wants some real educations on STDs. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I'm not saying that he can't sleep with people. Every weekend that he has been in the house, every night he has brought
But you're
home.
acting like this is like a church summer camp, or like this is their actual house.
How about I know nothing about you as a character?
Then you're
on
not
this
paying
show.
attention, because he said at least 5 other things about himself. So if
Listen.
you know nothing about him,
Okay, I
then
know
you
he was
just-
undocumented, married someone that he loved. That
So you do know stuff about him.
great, but that was all in one conversation. He never participates.
but do you think that they're just
But you
not
don't-
showing it?
Yeah, exactly.
Or do you think
This
that
guy's
also
out
he was
at the
brought on
club.
here to be that? Why have they never shaken the camera thing off? Why have they not had to talk with him and been like, we let you get by with it once or twice. You can't do that every time. Like, this is a reality show.
Why
We're
are they
watching
letting
the
these
reality of your
girls
life.
come? None of these girls are walking into that house without signing a release.
It
It's
seems
not
like a-
fucking happening. And they never use them. This is all planned. This is all a game.
Let's say the producers know. Let's say he's fine. They're letting him to wind us up. Just
He's
not
there
use
for
the
This
for a
is-
reason. He was
this is
cast for a
Paige and her
reason.
girl being
Lexi was
brats.
cast for a reason. Bailey was cast for a reason, and she wasn't who she said, so she's fired. Like,
Hold on,
I
fix
still
your hair.
think he's. Oh, yes, good call, Mike. You're good. Now you're perf.
I think you're perfect all the time, but
I think if we're bringing on characters on shows that I get to say if I like people or not,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this,
yeah.
right? He offers nothing to the show for me.
Yeah.
I don't find him I'm sure he's a lovely person outside of this show at his whatever day job as a day trader or whatever he does, real estate. If I never saw him again on this show, it would be too soon. He brings nothing to the show. And I do think his behavior is gross. I just do. I think when you are having sex with a different person every weekend, different people on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's a little gross to me.
Yeah.
It just is. How
not
about this?
so sex positive after all, are you, Corey?
How about this?
Little
Instead-
prude.
No, because he's
And
saying
if
like,
we are talking about that stuff, but the very first sentence I said was like, I don't like this and I don't know why. And I'm a little unresolved about it. I'm a little uncomfortable about why don't I like this? Does it mean that I'm not this? Does it mean I'm not the person that I thought I was? Am I judgy? I didn't think I was, but I'm judging pretty hard. Everything that they've said about this guy, everything that Sierra said, everything that Paige said, I've shared that sentiment 1,000% from at best week 2. Like by like
Do the
if
girls
you got
gross
one
you
off.
out that come home with him?
I don't know anything about the girls. So
I did find the timing of it and the way that they went about it a little weird, because they have only kind of like chatted him up about it. Oh, but tell me about this, tell me about that. All very like cool and whatever. And it seemed to me like everyone was in a bad mood. Like the girls were in a bad mood this weekend.
Yeah.
And like they didn't have things going on that they normally do. They weren't there living their best weekend
think
in the
they've been
Hamptons this
in-
weekend. And so they chose a time to do it. And the way that they both did it, Sarah, that was aggressive. And like you could like the way that all the guys said it, and Kyle said nothing, but even just Jesse being like, I think you could benefit from a couple of away games, you know, or
Totally.
or what's his name saying, we just haven't had this volume. You know what Sierra could have said instead of like, when she was just playing such like a morality police with being like, well, I'm sorry, when did you have that idea and when were you going to execute it? Like it was 5 seconds into the conversation.
totally aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like,
Grammy, fuck off.
and like I said, yes, wear nothing, Sarah. I don't fucking care. It was just like, it was aggressive. It was out of nowhere with no, hey, can I talk to real fast, you know, like just like
Totally
no
agree.
sidebarring. And then
Totally
she walks
agree.
off just with such authority, like no one's mad at you. And she's like, just saunters off, then goes upstairs, brags to Paige that she just had it out. And then when Paige is in the kitchen with him, she says, the first thing she says, and granted, I always say, don't touch me. Like I would be like, "Ugh, I know where your hands have been," especially like, ugh. But for her to say, you need to get an STD check. And he's like, I use condoms. And she goes, no, but what number is that over the summer? I got to say, Emerald conducted himself the way that he
Totally.
did. Like I would have a hard time being like, none of your fucking business,
Dude, I would've
princess.
fucking
How many
lit
girls that I've
both
been
of
with this
those
summer, or if
motherfuckers up.
you now you want to ask if I'm
Yeah.
going to go to the doctor and have a medical examination over, like
Yeah,
it just
you.
like could have been handled so much differently, and that's what bugged me about it because I am not. I'm not open to Emerald shenanigans. It all still makes me sick. But it was like Paige is always a perfect messenger. You know who wasn't the perfect messenger this weekend? Paige. and
Totally.
Sierra.
Listen, how about this? I would have been a jerk probably, or maybe not, because I have I have a long fuse until I don't, and then I just see red and
Yeah.
lights out. But I would have been super annoyed, roommate to roommate, him doing
Yeah.
that. I just think it's rude. I don't care if you were playing video games. I don't care if you were Kyle and you were DJing or you were banging some rando. I think it's rude roommate behavior. And I do think Imrul handled himself very well. I think that he's doing this to make up for something else, just like how someone
Yeah.
can be
Yeah.
drinking too much
Yes.
to fill the hole of whatever. So
Definitely.
instead of him, when he said like, I was not seen for many years of my life living in the shadows because I was undocumented and now I want to be seen. Okay, well, first of all, do you want to be seen? Because you're covering the camera. So if you really want to be
Yeah.
seen, on camera, bro.
I don't think
So-
you
hold
said I
on.
want to be seen though, but you say words matter, and then you're putting words in his mouth.
He did. He said, I've been living in the shadows.
Yeah.
But he didn't say anything about being seen.
Well, what's
He
the
was-
opposite of living in the shadows, Mike?
He said he would had to be hidden, and he just doesn't want to be hid. He doesn't
So
want to.
what's the opposite of being hidden?
Okay, carry on.
No, I'm asking.
No, I don't know.
The
Whatever,
opposite
doesn't
of
matter.
being hidden is living out loud to
Yep.
me. No?
Yeah.
I don't know. All I'm saying is instead of maybe banging a different person every day that ends in Y, maybe go to a therapist.
Oh yeah, no, I
Maybe-
think anybody who's living in extremes of anything,
That's all I'm saying.
Like it's just there's just like more to it, and I'm not saying that you got to do anything about it. You could live your whole life this way, and good on like it's America, it's a free country. But usually when there's extreme behaviors happening, it's for a reason.
You nailed it. That's what's irritating me with this.
I nailed it.
When Carl was over
What's
drinking,
extreme about, like, this whole conversation probably should have happened last weekend during the threesome that you had with your other roommate, or the foursome. Like, why? Like, if we're gonna, not us, but like if
Yeah,
they're
no,
gonna have this conversation,
exactly. I'm with you.
it didn't
100% on that.
happen last weekend during the like literal orgy. Like, it happened, and he's not bringing home. It doesn't seem like he's bringing home girls Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's one night a week where he brings home a girl.
I think he's had a couple weekends where he's had a Friday and a Saturday.
I think
but all that Sierra needed to say, it shouldn't be about like, what's your standard? Do you do this at your house? Are you getting STDs? Are you being
Probably
sick?
does it more
You
at
know what
his
she should
house.
say? I live one room over. I don't know who these people are. You're not letting us meet them. We'd love to meet your friends. If like that'd be nice. It's
Right, but
weird that
she
like
didn't
we've never
because
had
she-
this many people that like nobody knows their names, nobody sees them, nobody knows anything about them, and they're in a house. I'm sleeping in the room next door. You know what? Also, Paige, she was in Gabby's room. He might not have known that anybody was in Gabby's room. If that's but maybe Emerald's got people on both sides of him. I don't know.
Yeah.
That could be completely irrelevant. But like,
It's weird that scene, the pounding, the noise, the Imrul's loud lovemaking hasn't come up for, what are we in, episode 9?
yeah, it all seemed to be like a good fun poke and like, oh, tell us about this crazy like wild life that
But
you live
now
until
that
today. It just
Paige
seemed like
is
these
having
girls
a
were
bad
not in a
night,
good mood, and they were
yeah,
just
like-
deciding that they were going to throw their
And
balls around on.
You went to the room next door. Like, granted, there was a reason, but you could have very simply gone back upstairs where it's never seemingly been a problem. And like, what was more anxiety ridden?
Oh, is he downstairs?
Yes, like she left and went to the room right by him. So as soon
And
as
the
that
other side
pounding
is West and
starts,
Jesse. I don't even think they were
it's just
home.
West. Yeah,
But
no one's
also,
there because Jesse's
again,
in
Jesse's
with fucking
upstairs.
Lexi.
So that could have been something too.
She
I'm not saying it
could've
was,
fucking
but
gone
like
right
it could have
back
been like, no,
upstairs.
there's no one else on this floor. Like
And
it's
then
just me
she
and all the guys are
just
gone.
Was a brat about it the
Yeah.
entire episode and got Sierra. Well, be a brat with me. No, dude, go back upstairs.
How about this? I think you're both right. I think their behavior could have been better towards how they addressed him about it. I also think there's a world that exists where you're just like, I'm over it.
Yeah, no,
I'm
me
absolutely
too.
over it.
I was stoked last week. I said I can't wait to hear Sierra,
Same.
but I didn't realize it was going to. That I didn't know what context it was going to be in, and then once I watched this episode, I was just sort of like, oh man, you guys are just having bad days.
And it's exactly what you said. To me, it's the excess of it all. I
Yeah.
don't care if you're a slob, if you're an excessive slob, if you are excessively drinking or doing drugs, that irritates my nervous system. If I'm living with you,
Yeah.
if I'm not be the next episode of Hoarders for all I care, if I'm not living with you. But if I am sharing a space with you and every weekend you are bringing, if a chick was bringing a different dude home every day of the week, it harkens back a little bit to the episode in Real Housewives of New York when the women were on a vacation and brought home these random dudes and like
Yeah.
they woke up one morning and opened the door and some random guy's just sleeping there naked.
Yeah.
And they're like, what is going on? We don't know who this person is. Now listen, I'm not a golden girl. I would have been like, good, get yours, Luann or Sonia. But there also is a point where you're just like, wait a minute. I have all my jewelry laying out on
Yeah.
the counter. Like this could have gotten weird. I don't know who these people are.
Yep.
They didn't even sign, or maybe they did sign. Who knows? I'm weird about people in my personal space.
I know, but Courtney, that's what I'm saying.
Right,
they
but
didn't.
this is
They could have
also
said
why
that,
you
but they
don't have
chose
a
to go the
Southern house
morality
with
police
a bunch
route.
of party friends.
And that was just like a bad look. Like I said, I've never seen
This
Paige
is-
deliver a bad message. And I just thought that they were both got hung up on
Totally.
like on their whatever. And also thought it was so funny. Again, the Kravitz guys really had a banger Summer House recap. Like go watch it if you haven't. I was dying. But they said Paige had to go downstairs because she couldn't sleep in Sierra's sock drawer. Whatever room Sierra has, it's always just like all of her shit is everywhere. And so Paige was probably like, I can't think with all these socks everywhere.
I'll go down to Gabby's room.
Yeah,
Jesus
totally.
Christ. Also a disaster.
Yeah, what
area.
goes on down here? Maybe Paige never really understood the extent of Emerald's happenings until she went down there and she was like, God, is someone getting murdered next
That's
door?
why Gabby spent so many nights away.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
He's always like, I'll be in Montauk.
Yeah,
I'm taking a
that.
45-minute Uber.
I feel like Sierra might be one of those people who are so beautiful, so handsome. They're just so put together. And then like maybe you just had lunch with them, you're walking to each other's cars and they get in their car and they open the door and literally like 85 water bottles fall
kinda
out.
like
They have 12
falling
yoga
out, yeah.
mats, an
No,
old
clearly,
lunch
I
bag.
think-
I'm curious to see what people's opinions are on this, where it's like, are you grossed out by his behavior? Or
Yeah.
do you think like the more the merrier, keep on rock out with your cock out?
This is a party house. So I'm anxious to see. Actually, I don't care. But like, let us know. But just when you're typing, whether you think Emerald's disgusting or fine, keep in mind that Emerald is at a party house.
Yeah.
They rent this house to party.
Yeah.
Now tell me if you think that's gross or not. And if you do, totally fine. Probably not. You shouldn't go to the party house. Totally fine as well. Paige, yes. Take your advice and leave. You've grown out of the show. If you can't handle someone banging at a party
No,
house,
I think though what we're
this just
missing is we've never, they said it, we've never had this kind of volume. She's not
That
expecting
isn't-
everyone
I
to act.
cannot
I just
believe
watched
that's
it. They
not-
haven't. Carl didn't bring someone new home every weekend. This is not how
Okay.
it worked.
Okay.
It's fine to bring home people and have sex, but I think at this steady a clip is what's jarring me.
I know, I understand that it's jarring you, and I understand that it's jarring for Paige and Sierra. What I'm trying to say is, don't go to the party house. Retire your party house. Retire your weekends in the Hamptons, where you go out with a group of people partying, getting wasted, and looking for someone.
Even if historically that's
bang.
never how the house has been run.
I don't think that's true. Like,
I'm
has
telling you,
there
I just
ever,
rewatched
no, sure.
it, and
Has
it's
there
never
ever been a person who just slays chicks all the time? No. But these people have all been going out slaying chicks and dudes, and like this is a thing. There's storylines about it. Like, so I'm not buying it.
I'm saying it's different. I'm saying if you bring people home every other weekend, or it's just maybe it's the same person twice or whatever, it just has a different feel than a different person every single night that we never meet. I think they're two different
I know. I
things.
want to meet all these people. I also, like I said, I think if you're on a reality show, share your life. Like you're here, we want to meet the people. Like you cannot.
He's shit.
All the faceless. Like there's so many. Listen, Mike, I am
Those
so
girls aren't
with
on
you.
the reality show.
I understand that, but you are. So like do a better job at like sharing your life and not just
But we
putting
all
a thing
believe
over
that
the
he
camera.
was cast by Kyle for this reason.
And I agree with that too. So that's why like I am split down the middle. Like I can be grossed out by someone and admit that like I have unresolved about that. And I'm not as willy-nilly as I thought that I was about these types of things. Like because like it just gives me like and I also just start thinking like what happened to him? Why is he like this? I just start psychoanalyzing a guy that I've never met and I'm sure I never will. But he is the kind of guy that belongs on this show and half the other people don't. And I would like I want to follow Paige, Amanda, and Sierra around the city. I want to go. I want to be a voyeur at their lunches.
You are so right.
I want to go to their dinners. I want to go to their gigs. I want to see them go on a date. The ups and downs and highs and lows of all of it. Bring Kyle along. I don't fucking care. Let's see some more Loverboy stuff. Let's see your buddy and DJ career. Why are we fighting this? Like it's time to leave Jesse, West, Emerald if he wants to stay or go. He might be all f***ed out by the end of this. I don't know. And Lexi will be the new queen bee and ushering in the noobs. This is time for let's take the elder millennials off to the city because we've said, and a lot of people in the comments said that we don't want to lose this cast. So we've been split on like, what do we do with them? We want another show. You've got your show. You're doing the show. Half of this whole show was done somewhere in the city. Why are we fighting? Let's do it.
They need like their version of the valley.
Yes.
So call it like the West Village or wherever the hell they all live.
And they can still go and like, cause every reality show, they always go on a trip, at some point. They can go for a few episodes elsewhere. Like
they should do a week like in Europe. Where all the richies go.
Yeah. They
like
go
South
to
of
Italy.
France,
They seem like they're setting us
Capri.
up for that. Everyone's been going, It's just, it's time. And we're all here for it. The audience is here. They seem like they would super be into it. It would be so beneficial for everyone and let the new kids take over the house.
I'm with you.
Yeah, man.
I was actually thinking, I have a note. Nat's right. This should now peel off and be the Summer in the City, however they want to do it.
You want to know something so funny? Because we're just dum-dums. Maybe this was the transition year where we're going to start showing you that these kids have another life and there's a new crop of kids waiting to fill in. And then you get 2 shows. And that's just one more show for us to watch and love and freak out over and cover and meet more people on and all the things.
Are you listening, Alex Baskin?
Yeah.
I think I'm not going to watch. No, and I'll tell you why. This is my last note. I think that I came hot in this episode because not a single motherfucker in that entire place helped Amanda do anything. Her drunk ass husband, who I like, what, Kyle? Are we doing brunch here? And then you go to bed? No, dude.
He didn't even go to bed.
Table. Nobody did anything. She did all that by herself. And all these motherfuckers want to do is eat her food that she made for a girl I don't even like. I wanted to like go take everyone and smack the shit out of all of them and be like, go, you're doing everything. Amanda does nothing for forever. And then I want to take Kyle on a one-on-one and be like, Kyle, did any of you know that Amanda could do all that shit? I don't know if I'm being an asshole right now.
Amanda always spearheads that stuff.
What? Making 87 French toasts and bacon and muffins and
with the
setting
decorations
by
and
herself.
all that stuff. She spearheads it, is what I'm saying.
Did you know that Amanda could chef up an entire breakfast for 10 people by herself with zero help? Did you know that?
I would have put my money on that she could have done it.
I wasn't shocked that she did that, but I have that written down too. That what a wasted opportunity. Kyle could have gotten out scot-free from the night before and staying out all night. Helped her. Had he just powered through, spent an hour of just setting the table and like carrying some bacon over from the oven to the thing, like it would have been.
He could have broke
what
a couple
wasted opportunity
cups
that
and
was.
it would have still been fine.
You know what I think he thought though? We're all making fun of, well, except you. You didn't know why we were making fun of this last week, but the Loverboy music video, Yeah. I think that this event, Kyle felt like I have been trying to DJ here. Like I've never once got a gig to do in the Hamptons. I've been bringing speakers out. Remember he said something like I've been bringing speakers out since season 1, and it showed like a montage of him like bringing his stuff. When Amanda came home and she's like, I came home by myself. Kyle said, my friends are coming. I'm waiting for my friends to get here, Amanda.
Mom,
like
the
he
meatloaf!
thinks I had my big, grand,
Like a coming out party?
yeah, like DJ elite Hampton society. And it was his big party. And so I think that he thought that he had like earned this night out. And that's just kind of the vibe I gathered from him. So he probably thought like, I don't need to get up. That was my big event last night. She gets it.
But that wasn't his event. That wasn't the same night.
Yeah, it was. It was just over 2 nights. I mean, it was
Same weekend is what you're saying.
Yeah, like they went to that thing. They did the DJ thing, and then remember Paige. She's like,
oh, that's right. Then they went out.
they went out
clubbing.
to the clubs,
Clubbing.
and it was his birthday too. Like he had the happy birthday Lindsay and Kyle thing.
I did love how Lindsay is able to now like really laugh at herself when they
Yeah.
were going through the birthday stuff and
Yeah.
her 5-year plan. And then I may or may not, but definitely do judge guys on how they celebrate my birthday.
Yeah,
And
it's
then we
not
had
that I
flash-
do, but also I do.
I don't know if it's the hormones, if it's the breast milk.
I think
pumping
it's
through
probably
her
the no
veins.
drinking. I'm sure it's a plethora.
It's all of it,
yeah,
right?
It's
We're
a
like,
buffet.
she's all of a sudden able to have that sweet. I want that laugh to be the soundtrack of my life.
Yeah,
It's
I want to make it my
ador-
ringtone.
It's adorable.
Yeah, it really
and
is.
she's so much lighter and can laugh at herself. I think last year, if they brought up that timeline, she'd be like, yeah, and thank God I did it because now Carl has gotten his shit together and we are going to get married. And in 6 months after our wedding, I will be impregnated. Like she was taking herself too seriously.
Yeah.
And now I feel like something happens, hopefully, when you get what you've always wanted and maybe you can relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't happen with Paige right now,
Yeah.
but I think it has happened with Lindsay where she's just like, oh my God, I was racing against my biological clock. I got the kid.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like
No,
I
yeah.
can now, and I hope she stays this way. I don't think she
Yeah.
will, but I hope she
I know.
does.
I really do too.
Wait, guys, Carl got laid.
Oh, yeah.
Carl also got his sense of humor back for about 5 minutes. Like when they were sitting out there and him and Sierra it was just them two chatting. And he said, it was really nice. Lindsay came up to me and just said, I know what today is and just you're handling it great or whatever she said. And so then he responded and said, thank you so much and happy birthday. And she's like, it's tomorrow. And he's like, come on. And that was like the first time all season I've gotten an LOL out of
Yeah.
Carl. So I was happy to see that he got his sense of humor back.
Yeah.
Only to then be taken away in his confessional when he was saying, see, this is why I love talking to Sierra. There's just an emotional IQ there, and I want that in my next partnership. It's like, can't anything just be a joke anymore?
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm a hippie, and I'm so sensitive, and I love emotionally intelligent people and all this stuff. But to quote Mike, we're at a party house.
I stand by what I've said before. I'm not even inching away at all. I think that Carl and Lindsay, not sexually, they're going to find their way back into each other's lives I think they're going to resume a strong friendship like any time now.
I would love to see that. I really would.
Yeah. One other thing about keeping West and Jesse and Lexi and whoever at this house and just like kind of letting them saunter in the new regime. Yeah. And I would just love to see her, bring a Beckham into the house and just rub his stupid big fat teeth in it because I just think that would be hilarious. Like that's the kind of energy, like they're bringing exactly what we started watching in the beginning. The will they, won't theys, the jealousy, the
messy drunken
the
hookups.
messy drunken hookups. Yeah, and they're just young enough to where they've got another, 7 years in them before we start being like, y'all are old. Get your shit together.
Yes, I feel like the reason this season seems so confusing to us is because it is like half and half.
Yeah.
It's like when a boy's voice is changing, it's like, well, you're kind of a guy, but you're kind of still not. Like,
Yeah.
we need you to transition.
Yeah, it totally is.
What's that Britney Spears song? Not
I'm not a girl,
but not yet a woman. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Does Sierra get new teeth?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't tracked that. I will look though.
I'm excited for her to flip the script on Jesse and like make him feel
Sierra?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And like make him feel, because I've been watching so much bullshit. Jesse is seriously so high on his own supply right now that it's just like he just needs a little reminder.
Piece of humble pie.
Yeah.
You know what my only question mark with Lexi would be? She seems like a really sweet, well-intentioned person. I don't know if she has it in her. She's more of like an Amanda vibe to me. I don't know if she has it in her to like go after someone. So in this new show, I'm just saying we need to cast some stronger characters.
Totally. Because I've been assuming that about her this whole time. And it has been you to constantly bring up that she's got a lot more there than like she really portrays. We don't know if she has it in her. She might.
I just think when I like keep seeing her with her mom and sister and everyone, I'm like, I don't know if you have the chutzpah to really kick someone in the teeth. Not for nothing. I love Amanda and I think she's such a great flavor on the show. So I think you keep Lexi. I just think you got to put in some ball busters there. Like we need another Lindsay.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that if you got dropped off in New York City at 18 to live in a model house, which are some of the most competitive motherfuckers on earth, and you made it, you got the chutzpah to do
They could be
pretty much whatever the you want.
They got her on this show. That's a team effort from a family that all works together, lives together, parties together, plays together, all stays together.
And you got rid of both your management companies here and abroad? Like, I don't know, dude. I think she knows exactly.
No, I'm not saying that she's not
doing.
smart. That's what I'm saying. I think she is like a good, solid person. I just don't know if she has that activated, like, oh, and I'm going to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
That is what I'm saying.
I think that she will be more of someone that like we see is not a flawless person, but like I think that she, like I said, really the producers could have been just playing this, like knowing exactly we need this person who's a straight shooter. She's got a little fire in her, but like she's so sweet and she's going to be so kind to everyone. She's going to bring everyone in and be super accepting and all the things. Like it really could have been the perfect person to begin the next crossover. And we'll see, because next year is season 10 and they could want to keep the same cast.
It would be so rad if we got, obviously Summer House to exist and then a second show to.
Yeah. And then they do a crossover, like when we see the last episode, we see them going back into their house and they're like
into Vanderpump, or you know what I mean?
Like, yeah.
Wait, can I just tell you something?
Yes.
When we got to Jesse's event at Hope Lodge, before they said it was Hope Lodge, before we saw signage, before there was a Chiron, I literally was like, oh my God, we've been here before. This is where Bethany came for Luann for asking her if she was going to be using they were airbrushing her cover of Social Life magazine. And then when Ramona got there, she went in on Luann, telling Luann that she married a man much older than her in front of Luann's daughter. And it was a massive fight. I was like, we have been to Hope Lodge. Luann used to be volunteering for the American Cancer Society. Like, I knew what it was.
So funny.
If only all of this useless information could be useful to me someday. What could I do with it? All of these wasted hours of my life have connected dots for this moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't care about the Jesse Sierra touching thing. I think it's so dumb.
No, it's so stupid. And that's why I'm just excited for Sierra. Because when they go to that dinner or lunch or wherever the girls meet up and she's like, that's what you want? You want to bring that to me? I'll show you. I will make you feel like a piece of shit. And like,
When did Jesse get yelled at for being touched by Sierra?
I think after the softball game, they him and her really talked about a lot of that stuff because she had brought it up to him on camera because the girls had said, oh, he was being flirty with whatever. So I'm sure he's
right. But given what we saw and heard, she would never have been mad that Sierra was touching Jesse. She would have been mad that Jesse was flirting with Sierra.
Correct.
So for Jesse to say, I'm the one that got yelled at, like,
he's just causing problems.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, he's bullshit. This guy is a bag of shit, is what he is.
It's just going to be a love to hate him. And it's going to suck because I'm not into this kind of TV show. All these people are turning into dicks, like just little pompous, entitled, petulant little dicks. And I'm not going to have any fun watching that.
Well, listen, the pendulum swings in both directions. Everything turns itself around.
Yeah. I'm going to watch golf.
Okay, well, we're
going to do
covering
recaps
that, so.
on golf, everybody. Tell us what you think about that in the comments.
LOL.
All right, get the party started. Lit Real Red.
Hi.
Oh, and hi to Michael, my dude. Hey guys, Jesse calls dibs. Now he's stuck with it, trying to weasel out of it. In regard to Lexi.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
Also, I would watch Lindsay.
You break it, you buy it.
Yeah, exactly. I would watch Lindsay on New York Housewives. I watched all the Housewives.
Yeah.
Thanks again. That's a good one from Christy. If anyone thinks Lindsay hadn't been checking Carl's phone all along while they were
Oh,
together,
I loved this one.
you are unaware of how controlling and demanding she is. Come on now. She already checked his phone during that time period. She knew he had not been texting any girls. Yet she creates a scene at dinner, goes through all the drama, agrees he was not texting, but does not apologize. She is incapable of saying she is sorry. Then she calls her at the time current boyfriend to tell him about it, not realizing how frightening it would be for him to hear her true hateful self. I didn't even think about that. This dude is like, wait, what? What's going on? West and Jesse pissed me off this episode. Jesse should have told West it was none of his business what happened between him and Lexi. I can't stand Paige. F Paige. Breadwinner, my ass. Whoa.
Hot take.
Not so hot anymore, I don't think.
Do you remember there was somebody at the last Southern Charm that said, I like JT. He's the best one on this show. And I was like, whoa, hot take. Like, I've never heard that before.
By the way, to that person's credit, JT is why we had a season this year.
Yeah, no, it's
So
true.
you're
He's
not
a big,
totally wrong.
Big contributor. One from Debbie Roller. I really think Paige will regret this someday. Not now because it's all exciting. Her career is taking off, but like any career, it gets old and becomes a job. In 10 years, I think she'll realize how difficult it is to find a man that loves her so deeply or one who is so loyal. Craig will make a great husband and a great father and a good provider.
Johnny Smiles said, I wish Jesse was 5'7", and then in a parenthetical, I'm 5'7". That got
I
me.
love that.
Johnny, you are hilarious. Laura Deck had said, yes, Jesse has quote unquote nice guy-itis. You hit the nail on the head. And I just think it's an epidemic. I just think instead of having nice guy-itis, just be a nice guy and no one will, you won't have to defend it. Or maybe you will, but not as much.
There you go, everybody. Be nice and everything will be
just
great.
Don't be a douche. Maximum Dull says women can know long before, but talk themselves out of things, especially because Nat was saying that like you think Paige knew a long time before she was going to break up with him. So that's what I think.
They always do.
Yeah, that's what this person's hearkening back to. Women can know long before, but talk themselves out of things, especially if they believe they should want something that isn't obviously wrong for them, and they know they will be judged, blamed, and accused of things for simply being a woman with agency who is allowed to say no to something for any reason with no excuses.
Yeah.
People like to pretend the world is better than it is, and sexism isn't as pervasive as it still is. Men pretending women are crazy, and they like being bullied into things they agree to and potentially even pushed for is an example of this. We use euphemisms instead of saying they are psychologically abusive as they victimize themselves by externalizing what they could have taken responsibility for. Boys will be F-boys and resent being perceived as submissive to women who seek to be treated as equal. I think there's a lot of good points in that.
No, totally. I just want to know what Craig said that wasn't. I would like to know what level Craig is in the unsupportive totem pole, like where he falls on it. Just because I just want to know. I can't help but want to know if he was emotional warfare or if he was just like, and just like, had moments of just like, that's not your best self, dude.
Honestly, I think so much of it comes down to the fact that, because we say it every episode, we love them both.
Yeah.
They are not right for each other.
No.
Just like Lindsay and Carl aren't right for each other, these two aren't right for each other.
Yeah.
And the way that we want to see Lindsay and Carl come back at one point, together to be friends and all of that, I would like to see. I could see a world in which
I do not think they will ever be able to be in the same room together again. Yeah. I just have a feeling they're both going to be trying to one up each other for the rest of their lives in the list.
That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is Paige is going to move on and live her life, and Craig is going to be constantly trying to one up her, but no one's going to care, and she's going to have moved on, and he's still going to be trying to one up, and Craig's going to be like, Craig's going to be the one that's like, I almost married that. Do you know Paige DeSoro? I almost married. Yeah, no, we know Craig. We know you too. Like he's.
That's true. But women also fall into, like, listen, it's not going to make her ever wish that she did something different. I'm talking about women in general, because there's so much societal pressure on us to always look young, hot, thin, all the things, like it's natural for women to go, when we were like, oh, is he going to date Kristen Cavallari? I was just thinking, like, if that were me, if I'm Paige, I would have been like, God damn.
There's no way. There's no way Paige is ever thinking that about Craig.
I'm
Like, I'm not
about,
saying that's not
I
true
know,
what you're saying about women.
I'm talking about women in general. Like,
Yeah, but
so
Paige
like
isn't a
even
woman
if
in
she's not
general.
living her life to one up him, but there's just this thing, this general thing that women share of like
Totally. Just, yeah.
yeah.
I don't think Paige shares that.
Yeah.
I do think a little bit.
I
do,
it's
because I think she's only human. And if you
Exactly.
think that he's now hooking up with, and whatever you think about Kristen, she's beautiful. She's got this great
and she was a
bod. She's
fan.
very
Remember, she's like, I
successful.
love her.
Yeah, totally. I think you could only, I don't know. I just think it's only natural to have the
Exactly. It
feeling
doesn't
of like,
mean anything. It just is a natural thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also she says in the thing, like this episode, Paige says something like, I just hate that like everyone's gonna be like, oh, he's so much better off now. Look, he's with someone else. He's like, this was so great for him. He's doing so much better. Like it's on her mind that like he's going to do better, or people are going to think that he is done
she
better.
even said in this episode, everyone's going to be like, Paige sucks and
Yeah.
like kind of come for her. And she has gotten a lot of backlash for this.
She
And
was
so-
right about everything. If
She
she
really-
planned this whole thing out, that's why I always say it was no judgment. If she planned it all
Yeah.
out, anybody would, because everything she said was going to happen, it happened. What Sierra said in response to her is exactly what I said when she had it. You're your own person. Everyone's like, your personality is not Craig Conover.
Yeah.
Like, but like,
We all know that was a lie, though. As soon as it came out of her mouth, I was like, oh, that is not even a little bit true.
Wait, what do you mean? I'm lost. I'm sorry.
wait, do you think that Sierra was lying, or you think that
Sierra was 100% being the best buddy right then. Your
Oh, but I
personality
didn't think so
doesn't
either.
isn't tied to Craig Conover.
I don't think it
I
is.
didn't think it was either. Mike, that's what we've been talking about from like, I think episode 1 was that like, we've always thought like she stood on her own this
You
entire
said
time.
in this
when it's
episode,
like
John
when she got
Hamm,
with,
their relationship is so popular that John Hamm was commenting about it.
Yeah, but I think what Nat's saying is you stand on your own with your own personality
Yeah,
and your
I
own take
believe
on
that.
things.
Yeah.
And like people know that about you.
yeah, because she was someone that we all loved before Craig ever came into her life. Craig and her,
Both
they elevated
yeah.
each other's stardom. They both rose a lot higher because that's what celebrity couples do.
Yeah.
I don't know if
tripping,
like,
you
look,
know.
listen, you could be right that Sierra was being a good friend, but I'm just here to say that I actually did believe what Sierra said. I said those words in so many words myself 15 times. And I think I was wrong. I know I was wrong. I still believe she does, but people obviously are expecting a lot of her. And
I just want to say, Benji Fagile, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Fragile.
Ooh, it must be Italian. Said, you guys, in all caps, are my must-watch television to my old Gen X self. And I just want to say, I hope that your Gen X liked what we said about Gen X this episode. Because we love you. We have some of you. We have cuspy yous.
Lalo3675 says, I think you are a show because I watch you on YouTube. I do not listen to pods because I like to watch. I always listen to YouTube while cleaning and other stuff around the house. That's exactly what we do. Maybe you are a showcast. I would like to say that we are a showcast.
Yes.
From this day on, this is a showcast.
Yeah.
And we're going to refer to it not as a podcast anymore.
I said that. Let's give it a roll.
Showcat.
I like it. I think it has
I
a nice
love
ring
it.
to it.
You
Yeah.
guys need
I
to
think it
learn what
actually
words
perfectly
mean.
encapsulates exactly what it is, because we're streaming.
Why
There's
don't we be
something
called a
different than
banana?
broadcast than
I'm
streaming.
gonna go with
Right.
banana. We're a banana. We're a key banana.
We're a showcast.
Let's call it something.
Listen, if you be nice, you can come onto our showcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's gonna happen because
You're not a nice guy and you hate all women.
Oh, so cute. You guys better keep your video because us millennials love YouTube.
Yeah.
That's Sarah McBride. Don't worry, Sarah. I'm a millennial. I got you, girl.
This one is similar to what I was saying in the beginning about like they just had a relationship and broke up. It happens all the time. This is Yo Diggity Dog 800. What?
I was just looking at that one, like reading it all to see if it was appropriate.
It felt like Paige just got grossed out for some reason and then started looking for reasons why. They broke up without a huge fight and she fell out of love, but that happens, doesn't it? That's why I broke up with my boyfriends I dated until I met my husband. I just got sick of the other guys. I did feel horrible about hurting them, so I almost wanted there to be a big reason, but I just got over them, which I think is definitely relatable. Like, sometimes you're just not into it anymore and you don't know why. And so you come up with a big old thing to make there be a reason why. But the reason is
Or also, can it
he
just be
doesn't
like,
support you and you don't want to be with him anymore or whatever, you know?
I also think things can be like death by 1,000 paper cuts, where it's like, okay, it'd be one thing if I'm just dealing with this, but like, he's pressuring me for this. He's not supportive. He's not whatever. Like now, like, what am I even doing here? There's more bad stuff than good.
Well, that actually wasn't the comment that I was going to read, but it is also from Yo Diggity Dog. And I think she nails something pretty good here. Wes's whole goal was to sleep with Sierra and was told early she got hurt by Austin. So Wes knew maybe don't play games with this girl, but realized you kind of wanted to experience sleeping with her and used her for that, putting aside that she was going to get hurt. She made it clear that she didn't date casually. So he does need to apologize, taking responsibility for being a jerk and accept she had the right to still think, thanks, but now I see the other side of you. Which is, oh, congratulations. Your comment got a heart from NOWDIFY Studios.
Ah. That's some flirting. Lynn Bendy said something that is just kind of interesting, I think. If your theory is correct that Paige calculated the breakup for the camera, then it's not a far stretch to assume that Paige calculated the entire relationship from the beginning for the camera. And I just don't think they're two mutually exclusive things. And I do, because I did just rewatch it, she really liked him.
No,
It
I
was
think so too. And that's
palpable.
diabolical. I don't.
Yeah.
I believe that Paige has a heart and really loved him and wanted all the things. I think that she might have things about her that are, this is going to sound like, who cares? What does that have to do with anything? But she, she's from Albany, which I always thought she was from Jersey. She's not. She's from Albany. And she went to a small school for college. And
That's closed now.
That's closed now. And she lived at home. And there's something about the relationship that she has with her family, how often she talks to her mom. She's very reliant. I think she's been given a lot of confidence in like the way that she's been brought up and the tight-knit family that she has. And there's just something about that she might have the confidence to go and do things that like maybe other people don't, because she has such a cushion to land on. Like I really feel like Paige could get all the way up to the highest point and get dropped in the middle of the sky, and she would land on a fluffy cloud because like she's got such a great family. There's just some risks I think Paige is going to take that like maybe others wouldn't, or I don't know. It was just like things that I was just thinking about, like the kind of person that just decides like, you're not being supportive, I'm out of here. Even if she did totally love him, everything else was great. They were planning on being together. He was going to move to New York, whatever. Like I don't know. There's some people that have very little support, or like, but not in a bad way. Like if your parents don't have a ton of money, they just can't catch you wherever you land, Like I feel like she's been able to make a lot of decisions with a lot of support and a lot of
Encouragement.
I want to say coddling, but I don't mean it in a negative way.
Encouragement.
But yeah, my parents were great. They gave me everything. But like, I knew if I was gonna, you're on your own, kid. If you want to do that,
I think this
good
is
luck.
what you're saying, and you're 100% correct. When she signed on to do Summer House, right like before I guess they were going to start filming, she got super nervous.
Yeah.
And her dad said, do it. You were given this amazing opportunity.
That's right.
And if you hate it, Daddy will
get you
anything to get you out of it.
Yeah.
And so I will say this, even though my parents were again, like yours, amazing parents, but were tough people.
Yeah, at a certain point, good luck to you.
Yeah, like like people say, like, oh, what happens when you fall through the cracks? My dad's like, there are no cracks in this house. Like you're not falling through dick.
Yeah.
And so my dad does always say to me, he goes, as long as I'm alive, you have nothing to worry about. And listen, do I call home and ask my parents to pay my rent? Wish I could, Dad, if you're listening, which you're not. No one in my family does. They don't care about anything I do. But that's why I go to therapy, Imrule, okay? Anyway, but I do know, God forbid, like they would always be there to catch me if I fell, which is what I think you're saying about the Paige of it all.
Yeah.
And actually, there was something, as you were saying, this that hit me about Paige, and I can't believe this is the first time I'm really making these two ends meet. This isn't the right word, but it's the only word I can think of. When someone feels like a woman has very masculine energy and she's not likable, she's not maternal, they have very strong judgmental feelings about her.
Yeah.
And I think that is what Paige is falling into.
Yeah.
again, I like Craig. We're just talking about Summer House right now, so I don't want everyone to like come at me being like, you're Paige defender number one. Well, yeah, I will defend her because I like her.
Yeah.
And she's been great for however many years she's been on the show. But with that being said, she isn't like warm and fuzzy, and she doesn't have that Amanda kind of like nurturing, I'm going to breastfeed Kyle because he's an idiot kind of vibe. She's like, hey, carry my bags, do that. She has this.
She's Manhattan's Miss Patricia.
She is. You said it and you were right.
And I was just talking it out. It's not like I had formed some crazy opinion. Like, it was just like, the more we talked about it, was like, and there's this.
Oh, I thought that was a pre-baked thing.
It was in that, like, I thought that, like, how, people were saying, Patricia doesn't know anything. She's talking to Paige and saying that she's being mean, or she's being a bitch. I'm kind of a bitch too. Like, I was just like, it's not that Patricia doesn't know anything about how Paige lives. She actually does. And that's why she's able to just say, like, no, she's kind of a bitch to Craig. Yeah. I would probably be kind of a bitch. I have been a bitch to Craig. Did you see my last birthday? I didn't invite him, so, but like, as we were talking about it more, and then people were commenting and saying that, like, the jobs that she had, like, I didn't know. I had never Wikipedia'd Miss Patricia before. I had no idea. And as it turns out, I think that they have a shit ton more in common than like anybody really gives them credit for. So
it's one of those things where you
Paige
have to
had a bunch of jobs before she was in a reality show.
Miss Patricia. I think it's one of those things though, like you have to do the conversion rate. So you know how you could say like, oh, what was $20,000 in 1982?
Yeah.
So for Miss Pat, yes. Do I think she used having a successful husband to leverage her ability to like be an art dealer, or however not that she was an actual art dealer, but like kind of, and work certain deals? 100%. But do I think in 2025, Paige leveraged being a reality star and then also being in a celebrity couple to also help her career? 100%.
Yeah.
And what they both have in common is they never would have been able to make this happen if they didn't have great personalities. And both of them have killer personalities.
And
in my
killer
opinion.
Instincts.
Great style, smart, likable.
Yeah.
But Miss Patricia's not some walking breast. Like, she says it all the time. She's like, I had one kid because I hated being in labor. She's not some... So it's interesting.
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
You ladies should have a conference call. Meteor Wine says, I've said it before, Lindsay is a walking movie trailer of men's nightmare relationships. Even though she was wrong, deep inside, she still thought she was right. The perfect recipe for a reality star. All of that. And you said, like, I can't remember when we were talking about Lindsay. I was like, no, Lindsay's still showing up for work every day, even though everyone hates her. And you go, I don't think she knows everyone hates her. And I go, she's in the comments. It's actually a notorious thing about her. Everyone goes, oh, Lindsay's in the comments. Lindsay will be the first one to respond. And you said, it doesn't matter. She's reading all the comments. Yes. But then she's going, they don't know. Like when you said that, it was as simple as that. She is that person that goes, okay. And it doesn't matter that 99% of these people all are coming at me saying I do this one thing. They don't know.
They don't know. And no press is bad press, says the ex-publicist.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Don Simmons says, Carl needs to take the weekend off to grieve his brother's passing. I feel like he's exploiting his death for reality TV. He's looking for sympathy and it's not cool. I think that is the extreme version. I think that he does need to take the weekend off. I think he is exploiting his death, but I don't think he's intentionally doing it knowingly in a harmful way. Carl has no self-awareness though. So he's doing these things and it is in bad taste, but it's not with bad intent.
That's exactly right. Yeah. It's coming off bad, but it is not with bad intent. You were so right. I was just on a Nettie one. Jesse's love bombing is sinister. I cannot with his behavior, which Nettie, you're right about that.
Nettie says, Carl and Lil gave to me brother and sister vibe. No sexual chemistry. I feel bad for her with that lemon nonsense. That was a goofy sister move. She can't help her personality, but she had a shot at becoming a TV personality with the first date and blew it. I think I would have tried to put my best foot forward, booked professional hair and makeup, and bought the hottest dress and borrowed a designer bag to wear for that first date. I would have made Carl say, wow, you clean up nice. And I would have been, you are so welcome, because it was an opportunity. All eyes on her. Instead, we got an awkward lemon bit. Yeah.
She's right.
Yeah, all of the things. Yeah. Lil was too to like ever connect. Like,
no, she was connecting nothing.
Nettie says, agree with Nat. Those girls are cliquey and I need a new cast. They are cliquey and we do need a new cast. I'm not mad at the clique, but I would like to see the clique do a cliquey show. They could call it the
clique.
Judy Marie, Courtney, your hair is magnificent. I want it.
Oh my God, Judy, I wanted to read that comment, but I thought it would have been too heady.
Nettie also says, I got a real TV education today. Thanks. Very interesting. And that is another thing is that, of course, we have other things that we do when we talk about. A lot of it just gets cut out because we wanted to give you the goods. You showed up for a recap. I wanted to give you the recap. If there's things that you want to know about TV, Mike has worked in TV for 200,000 years. And just shoot us questions in the comments and like he will break it all down for you unless it's something that's going to get him fired. Because we need to buy our Cheez-Its and beers.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. We didn't say it once. God, I'm so bad at remembering to say that. Send this to your brother, your mother, your lover.
Pat Clark says, thanks for another morning of fun entertainment. Pat, I feel like we've come so far. I love that about us.
That's so sweet.
Okay, one thing I would just want to say, we're late on things. We haven't put the Valley up. I had to leave town. I have lost 2 dads this year. I had a biological dad and my stepdad since I was 2 years old. My mom married somebody that was way older than her first, so that made sense when he went. Then she married someone 8 years younger. My stepdad just died at 66 years old. Multiple organ failure. The shittiest thing about losing a dad. Dads in general, if you got a good one, and I know many don't, so please just ignore me if you don't, because some dads fucking suck. But one cool thing about dads that I've got to partake in is that whatever you do in your life, everything that you achieve, all of your successes, they're so excited. They can't believe it. They're telling everyone. They're shouting it from the rooftop. You could take that same success, and if you failed at it, they would literally go, who cares? It doesn't matter. Like there's something like, even though Mike is like so supportive of me, Mike and I are a unit. So like, if we don't get somewhere, like it's like, okay, but we got it. We got to get there. We got to keep going. We got to keep moving. There is something about a dad that's just like,
We'll get him next time.
or we won't. Who cares? Move home. Like,
Yeah.
And the whole reason I brought this up was that I put something out to just say that we were going to be late on things. And I can't even tell you, like the comments that came back, like, it's not that I thought, oh, no one's going to say anything nice, but like the extent that you guys go out of your way to tell us like what we mean to you. Like, it's so dumb that I can't even articulate it without feeling like an idiot, because like, I can't even believe that you guys say the things that you do. I can't believe that we get to do this and that we found our people. I mean, anybody could do this, like anybody can throw some cameras on, but I just never expected this kind of community. I just never in my wildest dreams imagined that people would be waking up on Sunday mornings or whatever and see, like, someone said, I'd love to see a dot next to the NOWDIFY logo. And like, I love to see a dot from logos. And I can't believe that we're a logo now that people are looking for a dot from, like, or that there's a dot on the comments on Spotify. Like, the dots are everything. And
Everything.
yeah. And I just, God damn, the messages that I got, like, just saying that you're here for me. Like, you don't know me from the wall. And like, you've just been so kind. And I can't tell you, I just could not put it into words. Like, it's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's by far the best thing about this, which is obvious, but it's also something that I never even thought of. Like Natalie said, I've worked in TV for 187,000 years, not 200,000. But you come up with an idea, you sell the idea, you go make the idea, and you hope people like it. But in TV, you don't know. No one gets to tell you. You get to find out in the end of the year when NBC calls it and goes, good job, you're getting another season. You're like, cool, guess people liked it. So you don't think about it directly. And then doing this, same thing. Like I'm an idea person. I want to come up with ideas and make them and move on to the next idea. But to have people like your stuff, like Carly, I think was one of the earlier ones that was like, yo, this is really cool. I appreciate what you guys are doing. Carly T. Somebody said this should be the last thing on our minds. You're not totally wrong, but it's not. It's the first thing on our minds. You guys are now the first thing on our minds. Second, sorry. But like after these two. But you guys mean as much to us as we seemingly mean to you. And we enjoy hanging out with you and doing this and commenting and chatting. And like, that's our vibe is all, we're just here hanging out, talking shit. Because that's what we like.
I know. This dad that just passed was in the hospital in February for a couple weeks. I did at least 2, maybe 3 episodes from a hospital room. I'm sitting on one hospital room chair and there's another chair in front of me, and I set up 2 screens, and I got to sit with my dad while he was asleep, intubated, and bang that out, and then get to sit and read all the comments, and like just imagine being in like a pasty white hospital room with a guy who's not talking to you, reading what everyone thinks about stupid Jesse or what an asshole West is or whatever. Like, I don't know. What else would I have done? Just sat there and just stared at the wall and just cried and whatever. And like, it sounds like that may come off sounding like, oh, I even did it from here. I got to do it from there. Like, it was the only cool thing that happened in February. So
We wake up every morning and log in and who can I talk to? Who can I
Nettie's
chat
ass is
with?
going to be on fire this morning. I can feel it.
Yeah,
Or
let's
me
see.
going,
Who's
Christy's
Joe?
going to be so mad at me.
Yeah.
God, Christy, please love me.
Or
See.
Joanne, I love you.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Do we have a tape of her cheating? I don't know. It's been a really hard year.
So yeah, you guys are the first thing on our minds.
Yeah,
now.
gladly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With pleasure.
I would add to that, but I'm like the weepiest one of the group. So unless everyone wants to see me start hysterically crying, just know what they said.
She almost cried when you said you liked her hair.
Right? Honestly, it's the truth.
Well, people are going to be bummed that you got the.
Well, okay, so just so everyone know, because I did tell the people, that it's curly hair season. So you're just going to see my noodles a lot, but I had to get a haircut, and now we're going to be back to noodles. So nobody.
We'll see about that. Anyways, we love all of you.
Love.
And
Yeah,
thank you
love.
all so much. And like and subscribe.
Shoot it on your Facebook. We just want to do more shows. We want to do 5 shows.
Oh, talk dirty to
yeah.
me.
We just need more editors, and we
Besides Natalie.
yeah, yeah,
Enough begging
Okay.
people for subscribers.
We're just letting the people know.
yeah.
They know. We'll see you next time for the
Well-
Valley.
I'm so excited for the Valley.
I was just watching and going, this is
Not this show.
no, this is not this show. And I feel like I'm going to like some people that I'm already ashamed that I am enjoying them. Anyhow, see you Monday.
Natalie loves Jax.
Oh, okay. That's not the one. No, that's not the
We
one.
just ran out of heart. Too bad.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Here.
Oh, Mimi, so cute.
She does not appreciate. Oh, man.
Oh, Manny.
Okay. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.